Hi and welcome to Shan Group Media. Today we are going to review a movie called Heretic. The story is tense psychological thriller with deeply unsettling themes of faith, manipulation and survival. It follows two young missionaries, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, visits the home of a man named Mr. Reed to talk about their faith. Sister Barnes is confident while Sister Paxton is shy. Mr. Reed, a middle aged and reclusive man, greets them and invites them inside. He tells them his wife is in the kitchen baking a blueberry pie. The house seems friendly at first. They start talking about religion. However, during their conversation, Reed makes a strange and uncomfortable remarks about their Mormon beliefs and nature of faith. Reed leaves the room for a moment, and Barnes notices something odd. The smell of the blueberry pie isn't coming from the kitchen, it's coming from a candle. When she checks the front door, it's locked, and they realize they don't have any phone signal. The two women starts to feel uneasy. Reed comes back and leads them to his study, a room filled with books and unsettling objects. He begins a long, threatening speech claiming that all religions are just copies of each other and he has discovered the one true religion. Then he gives the woman a disturbing choice. He points to two doors in the study and says they must choose one to leave the house. One door is for those who still believe in God, and the other is those who no longer believe. The women pick the door labeled belief. When they step through, they find themselves in a dark, cold dungeon. They quickly realize that both doors lead to the same place. While they are trying to figure out what's happening, an odd, sickly woman appears. She eats a piece of poison pie in front of them and collapses. Reed calls her a prophet and claims that she will come back to life. As this happens, a church elder arrives at the house looking for these two women. They scream for help, but the elder doesn't hear them and eventually leaves. Moments later, the old woman comes back to life. She begins to describe the afterlife in a vivid detail. Sister Barnes, however, doesn't believe her. She points out that the woman's description sounds similar to hallucinations reported by people who have had a near-death experience. Barnes secretly signals Paxton, and the two try to attack Reed. However, the plan fails and Reed slashes Barnes' throat with knife. He tells Paxton that Barnes will also be resurrected, just like the prophet. Barnes bleeds out on the floor while Reed watches. After she dies, Reed pulls a small metal object out of her arm and claimed it proves that Barnes wasn't a real person but a part of simulated reality. According to Reed, the world they are living in just an illusion. Paxton realizes that the metal object is actually contraceptive implant, not evidence of a stimulation. She begins to see through Reed's lies. Earlier, when the elder came to the house, Reed and his accomplice had staged the prophet's resurrection. Another woman had swapped places with the prophet's corpse and delivered the speech about the afterlife. The phrase, "it's not real," which the prophet said, was an accident that reveals the truth. Paxton finds a secret chute in a dungeon and climbs down. There she discovers a horrifying sight, a room filled with starving women locked in cages. She noticed that the locks on the cages are secured with the same bike lock she and Barnes had to use earlier that day. Paxton realizes that Reed's twisted message is that the root of all religions is the desire to control others. Determined to fight back, Paxton grabs a letter opener and stabs Reed, but before she can escape, Reed stabs her as well. Both of them are left bleeding in the basement. As Paxton lies there, she begins to pray. She tells Reed that prayer is not about getting rewards but about showing kindness and compassion, even in the worst circumstances. Reed is about to finish Paxton off when Bonds, still barely alive, strikes him with a plank of wood and kills him. Sadly, Bonds succumbs to her injuries and dies shortly afterwards. Paxton managed to climb out of the basement through a small window. She stumbles outside into the snowy wilderness. As she stands in the snow, a butterfly lands on her hand. Earlier, Paxton had mentioned that she wished to be reincarnated as butterfly that could visit her loved ones. The butterfly seems to be a small sign of hope or peace, but after a few moments it flies away, leaving Paxton alone in the cold, snowy landscape. She survives, but the experience leaves her deeply changed. That's the review for the Heretic movie. And if you like the video, subscribe to the Shan Group Media channel for more entertaining videos and reviews. See you in next one.